Well, here we go. Did anyone ask for this? Did anyone really ask for this? Kane? Roman? Did either of you ask for this? I don't think anybody asked for this, but we have it, so let's talk about it. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Listen, it's been a month since I've posted, and I apologize for that. Winter here has been a little bit stronger than in previous years. Normally I can go, riding all throughout the year, usually once or twice a week, even through wintertime, but this last month has been a good one as far as winters go. I mean, we had really good snowstorm, sub-zero temperatures, freezing rain, and all of those things, hanging out week after week instead of melting the next day like is typical here. And so, yeah, it's been a little bit. And then last weekend, 60 degrees out. I was going to go riding after church. I was pretty much going to ride for myself, for my own enjoyment and just getting out. But where the street and my driveway meet, it, makes like this V. And so there was still some ice and snow left over and hadn't melted away because it was all shaded there. And so I went out there and chipped away and worked at getting all that cleared out. And I bent down to check the tire pressure on my bike and boom, roasted out my back. And it's just a reoccurring injury that I've been dealing with for 2.5 decades now. Anyway, so I haven't been on my bike. So I decided, to talk about something new, to make a different video. I wasn't not really interested in doing a talking head video like this, but in the interest of keeping my channel alive, I thought I better do something. So let's talk about something interesting. Let's talk about this Pan America CVO. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this and not about the other CVOs this year is because the other CVOs, you kind of expect them. They are what they are. Yeah, they have a couple of new design features and they're super nice. They look really good, and they're priced to reflect that. Way outside my price range, like just stupidly so. Like I wouldn't even want to pay for a car that I could drive 365 days a year. I wouldn't want to pay as much as a CVO Street Glide. That's just not me. However, this CVO Pan America is a little different breed. It's a little different thing. It's not as expensive as those others. And I wanted to take a closer look at it because it is unique as far as CVOs go. The Pan America is a new bike for Harley. It came out, I want to say 2020. And it did really well. It did really well for its first time out on the floor. I think when it came out, it actually became the #1 seller of adventure bike in the North American sphere. And it was designed to take on the BMW GS 1200 series, 1200, 1250. And did it really knock the BMW out of the market? No. BMW's been in this game for 40 years. They've got a really good bike. Is it a perfect bike? No. Is the Pan America a perfect bike? No. No bike is perfect. You just have bikes with less imperfections than others. But for what it's worth, the Pan America did a really good job of dropping itself into that market. Harley-Davidson made a bold move, and honestly, I think it's cool. I think they do need to do more things like this with the Pan America, but I don't think that a CVO version of this was what they needed to do. My opinion. You might think differently, but this is my opinion, so I'll just share it with you. And if you disagree, then there's the comment section. You know what to do. Anyway, here we go. Let's look at this thing. So I've got two screens up, And on the left here is the CVO Pan America. And we'll scroll down and boom, there she is. She's a pretty bike. You can't argue that. Let's look at it close. There we go. There's the Harley Davidson, promo film. You see the 25 years of CVOs, CVO badging on the grips, the custom paint, the custom seat. It's coming with all the baggage already attached to it, all the crash guard already attached to it. Gosh, just a good looking bike. But to me, that's the problem. It is a really good looking bike. This is supposed to be an adventure bike. This is supposed to be a bike that goes off-road, that hits the dirt, gets in the mud, maybe it gets tipped over into a bunch of rocks. Maybe it slams into the side of a tree. Maybe it does all kinds of things that you don't want a bike this pretty getting into. That's my first thought. And, I don't know. I just don't know about that. So that's the video for the CVO running. Let's take a look at what's happening over here on the Pan America. Now, the Pan America, they used to have the Pan America Standard. They don't have that right now. They got the Pan America Special and the Pan America CVO. And and there's let's put in the basic gray. There's the CVO, or not the CVO, the Special. No luggage, no extra goodies. The stupid gray is the base color they have this year. They used black. Black used to be Harley Davidson base color, free color, so to speak. You didn't pay a premium for it. But I guess they sold so many of those that they had to change it up and give you this stupid gray as the base color now. Blah. Honestly, that just looks... I want to say it looks better in person. I really want to believe it looks better in person. But anyways, that's what all the Harleys get now, is this stupid gray, primer gray. And, they're not going to give you a video here, just standard pictures, but I think there's a video up here. Yeah, a little bit of a video. And it doesn't look that much different. I mean, it's the same bike, right? So what do you get? What do you get on the CVO more than the standard bike? I mean, the standard bike starts at $19,999. And by standard, I guess I want to say non-CVO. It is this Pan America Special, not the standard, so let's not get confused. But if I use the word standard, it's just meaning non-CVO there. So CVO, you start out at $28,399, and the Special starts at $19,999. Okay, so roughly a $28,500 difference. So let's take a look at specs, because that's where we're going to find differences, I think, right? Surely it's not just in having a nice fake carbon fiber plating and tank grips and cosmetic differences. There certainly would have to be something in the specs to warrant everything to be different or warrant the price change, right? So let's take a look. Dimensions. So, right away, they've managed to make the CVO a little bit longer, 3 inches longer. Interesting. Well, that basically translates to more stability, especially on the highway. Let's see, seat height. Okay, they managed to lower the seat height on the CVO by 1/2 inch. Interesting. Roughly 1/2 inch. Looks like closer to 5/8 actually. But for normie purposes, let's call it 1/2 inch. Ground clearance, 7.1 versus 16.9. Okay. Not a huge difference, about 1/4 of an inch-ish there. So to me, that's inconsequential. That's like literally tire pressure change. There's nothing special there that is crazy. Because like the seat height, I think that must be the difference between maybe the low seat and the high seat. And maybe, because I know you can get different seats, because the bike, Harley's good about that. They give you different seats for different size legs lengthwise. Ground clearance, let's see, rake 25, trail 4.3, wheelbase 60. So I might be missing something. How did they keep the same specs on the rake, trail, and wheelbase and manage to make the bike longer? Is it in the frame? Interesting. I don't know. Someone more smart about this can tell me in the comments for sure. Tire size all the same. Capacities are all the same. Weight is shipped is heavier on the CVO, but that makes sense since it's coming with the luggage already on it. All right, let's scroll down. The engine. All right, yeah, Revolution Max, same exact engine. Revolution Rev Max 1250. Bore, stroke, yeah, nothing exciting there. Performance. Yeah, 95 foot-pounds of torque, 150 horsepower, lots to giddy up and go there. 46 miles, yeah, so everything there's the same. So literally so far, I'm not seeing anything that differentiates the CVO from the main bike. All that is the same, all the drivetrain gearing and all that, chassis, anything different happening there? Oh, okay, here we have something different. So on the CVO, you get the adaptive ride height. On the Special, you don't get the adaptive ride height. Interesting. So y'all, here's something that made the Pan America such a unique selling motorcycle in the adventure world. Adventure bikes are typically taller. They need to be taller because they have extra ground clearance. And so it's always been kind of a bane for shorter riders who have, say, under a 30-inch inseam to ride these bikes, because you're talking anywhere from 30, 32, I think even taller in some cases, ride heights. And so if you're a shorter rider, say with a 29, 30-inch inseam, you have to do some pretty good gymnastics to keep your bike upright at a stop, like slide off and slide off partially and to put your foot on the ground, or get really good at balancing on your tiptoes. And what Harley did with this adaptive ride height, they built in this system to where when the bike slows down and comes to a stop, it lowers itself automatically, so the shorter riders, could put their feet down without having to do anything weird. And that was something really unique. And Harley did that. And people that reviewed that were like, wow, why can't other companies do this? Because this is cool. And it's functional. It's a functional cool. And I thought that was a standard issue thing on the Pan America, but it looks like, at least if it was, they now made it an option. But on the CVO, it's already baked in. So it looks like something extra you have to order on the Special if you want the adaptive ride height. Now me, I have a 31-inch inseam, 32 on a good day if I'm wearing my riding boots. And so I don't think I would need it, but, for argumentation's sake, it should have it. Wheels, the wheel types, these are basically laced, spoked wheels, tubeless, and these are cast aluminum. I don't know how I feel about cast aluminum on an ADV bike. Is it really a bad thing? They're both tubeless, right? The only reason why laced or spoked wheels are really functional is if they have tubes in them. So like if you smash into a rock and you bend your rim and you lose your tire bead, you can at least fill up your tube and kind of keep somewhat mobile. Whereas if both of these are tubeless, does it really matter if you have a cast aluminum or a aluminum laced wheel? They're both tubeless. If you smash your front end too hard, you're done anyway. I suppose the aluminum you could kind of bend back into place if you needed to, but the cast, yeah, you're not bending anything. It's just breaking. So maybe there's still a slight advantage to the CVO anodized aluminum. And then the brakes look to be all the same. Come down to electronics. What do we got happening here? Daymaker, LED all the way around, 6-point-inch TFT display. That's where all your fun stuff is. Speedometer, gear, odometer, fuel level, clock, trip, ambient meter, low temp, side, stand down alert, tip over alert. I suppose you need a tip over alert if you don't know you're falling over. I don't know. Again, somebody who's smarter than me on this could explain to me what that actually is. Cruise, range, and tack. And you can know I'm pulling the same stuff from both sides. Bluetooth compatible, phone pairing. Yeah, through the HD app only. So, both the screen size are the same. They're both color. Headset, Bluetooth. Hands-free, full independent, headset function only. So, yeah, vehicle screen, tire pressure monitoring system, engine temp, battery volts, ambient air, all the same. Dudes, other than having the adaptive ride height baked in, I'm not seeing anything different at all to justify the major cost. I mean, I don't know. I'm just not seeing anything different between the two bikes. And maybe that's the point. I don't know. And all the nanny modes that you could imagine, here they are. ABS, linked, traction control, drag, torque, slip control. Vehicle hold control. Vehicle hold control, if you don't know, is really cool. You hold the front brake for a couple of seconds. It locks the bike on it. And it locks the bike up and holds it there for you. And this is kind of cool for if you're on a hill. And as soon as you do anything with the throttle or anything like that, it releases that brake so you can go. But if you're on a hill, it locks that up for you so you don't have to sit there with your hand and just hold it. Tire pressure monitoring system, wheel lift mitigation, cornering, ABS, braking and traction control, drag slip, enhanced lift mitigation. I guess that's stuff to keep you from doing wheelies because that bike will definitely do a wheelie, I assume. So, okay. So in all the detail stuff, the bikes are the same. The Pan America Special and the Pan America CVO are literally the same bike, spec for spec. So then the price difference has to be in all the add-on stuff, right? So let's just kind of prove a point here. A CVO won't have a build your own spec sheet because CVO, custom vehicle operations, is the final word, right? They're supposed to be putting on the bike all the stuff that you would normally put on anyway, just saving you the time and money of doing it, coming out in a full-blown package. It's all warranted and a dealer warranty or a motor company warranted and all that stuff, right? So there it is. And again, like I said, it's a pretty bike. I do like the black and red configuration. I like the number 1 there. And 28399, as you can see, no customization options whatsoever. So come back over here to the Pan America Special on the other side. Hit build your own. And so there's the standard color, $19,999. So say we want to get as close as we can to the CVO. Let's start building it. Well, that would be this red and white version, and that's the most expensive paint job. Red rock birch white, $650. Again, getting as close to the CVO as we can. We got to change the wheels from the cast, and we got to add $1,000 for the laced. There we go. And we had to have to add another $1,200 for adaptive ride height because the CVO comes with it. So with that alone, we're sitting at $22,849. Okay. So now we got to finish this out because the CVO has a bunch of stuff that we don't have. So now there's the long itemized way, and then there's the short way, the ultimate Trekker package. Now, you could do the ultimate Trekker package, but I will show you, you're going to be missing something. So we hit the ultimate Trekker package, and boom, there it is. You get the running lights, like our CVO friend. You get all the anodized bags. Granted, they're not black, but you get them, just like our CVO friend. You get the long extended underguarding. Yep, there it is on the CVO. You get the radiator grill, and you get all the other stuff, except for one thing. You don't get the quick shifter. See, we break it on down. You get all the stuff, here it all is, and you get a headlamp guard, which you don't get on a CVO. Muffler guard, Screaming Eagle intake, and a few other things that I don't know that you get on the CVO. But I do know for a fact you don't get the quick click, the quick shifter. If you want the quick shifter, guess what? Look at that. It destroys that entire build for all the Trekker package. Why is that? I don't know. Because as you'll see, we're going to get everything anyway. So let's do the long form. We got the quick shifter, which the CVO has. So here we go. Aluminum side case is black. Almost $1,500. Aluminum top case back, almost $900. No tank bag, sport cases. Sport cases? Let's take a look at that. Oh. I like that. Honestly, I would do the sport cases before I would do the others, but that's just me. Let's go back and try to make this a CVO as a CVO as we can. Change that. Change that. Vehicle protection package, yes. Auxiliary lighting, yes. There it is. There's the protection package. And there's the lighting. Adventure windshield, no, the CVO doesn't have that. It just has the standard windshield. The Adventure windshield is quite a bit taller. It doesn't have that. It just has the regular windshield. And then the quick shifter. So where does that put us? So here we have something as close to a CVO as we can with the added headlight protection that the CVO does not have. And we are sitting at $27,141 versus $28,399. So $1,000, $1,200-ish, somewhere around there. So you tell me, is the CVO worth it? Are either of these worth it? I think, honestly, I could get by without having the CVO badging, because that's what you're paying for now. You're paying for the custom paint, and you're paying for the CVO badging. But literally everything else about these two bikes are exactly the same. And because of that, you might prefer the CVO and just go with a little bit of extra bling. Honestly, I mean, you're not losing that much at this point. But man, I have to still, don't forget, this is supposed to be an adventure bike. This is supposed to be something you take off-road. And man, oh man, dude, I would take this on a cross-country trip, interstate travel. From everything I've heard and read, it's super comfortable. 160 horsepower, 95 foot-pounds. It'll go, no doubt about that. It has every nanny control you could hope for riding in the rain and cornering and all that. I mean, this bike has got everything. And that's how I would keep it on the blacktop. It would not see dirt unless I needed to get to like a campsite in Yellowstone or something like that. But like going up to my family's cabin up in Colorado, up those roads, no, this bike is not going to see that. That stuff is 4x4 Jeep trails and some really harsh granite, busted up boulders in the road and all kinds of stuff. So no, I wouldn't take this bike there. Would I take this Pan America there, the special? Maybe if I do a couple of different changes to it to knock down the price. I would probably go back to the base gray because honestly, that gray on this bike, the way it's set up, I think looks good. And since I might stay with the standard cast, given that they're both tubeless. And if you did that and put everything else on here, guess what? Now your CVO, which isn't a CVO, but your Pan America, is $25,491. That's, almost a full $3,000 cheaper. So you tell me which is worth it. I think I could do the cheaper I don't think I need a CVO. I think I could have done the Pan America the way it sits like this and been happy. I don't think anyone was asking for a CVO Pan America. I just don't think so. I don't see that. But I know what I do see. I see people asking for a smaller Pan America, a 975. They have a 975 cubic inch version of this motor, and people want that. People wanted that. Harley would have done better to make that instead of a CVO version of what they got. Another thing Harley would have done that would have been better is this. People have been wanting this for a long time. This little street fighter called the Bronx with the 975 Revolution Max engine in it. They should have introduced the Bronx and paved the way for the 1250 version of this bike. Honestly, that's either of those two things they should have done instead of a CVO Pan America. Now, does that mean I totally hate the CVO Pan America? No. Do you want one and can afford it? Go get it. It's all yours. It's a great looking bike. So this isn't really throwing shade at Harley per se. I just don't think this is a bike that anyone was looking for. People would have preferred the Bronx. People would have preferred a smaller Pan America. That's from a spectator's point of view. That's what people wanted. Anyways, you decide. For me, I won't get any of these bikes because honestly, they're kind of outside my price range and my willingness to go into debt for. If I'm going into debt, I'm going into debt for a good reason. And a motorcycle is not a good reason. I'm sorry. That's just me, middle-aged man who hates being in debt. That's my opinion. But what do you think? Like I said, I don't hate the CVO Pan America. I think it's a beautiful bike. I think I know what I would use it for if I were in a position to buy one. And an adventure bike is not what I'd use it for, honestly. I do wish they would have come out with the Bronx. Would I have bought the Bronx? No, not my style of bike. I'm a cruiser guy through and through. I don't care about sport bikes. I don't care about naked bikes. I don't care about street fighters. I like cruisers and baggers. That's just me. But I do think there's a market for that bike, and I think people would have ate it up. I really do, especially if they would not have priced like Harley prices, and they would have priced competitively. That's my opinion. You all have a good day. We'll catch you in the next one.